If I am one, I am 100 voices in your head. With every twist and every turn, pulling every single thread. I may have 1,000 names, but in the end they're all the same. I play whatever role you need to guide your way. Welcome to the Matrix, where I am your god. It may be a simulation, but I ain't no fraud. I play your friend and your foe, design your joy and your woe. And if the red dress caught your eye, I'm doing something right. Welcome to my world. Let's see who comes out to play tonight.
Welcome back, everyone. We are For the Win, and tonight it is just us three wonderful death girls here to entertain you. My name is Ruby, and I'm going to let the others introduce themselves as we go. We're here to answer your questions. Nash, you're up.
Hey guys, I'm Snash. Usually I play WoW, but tonight I'm just myself.
And I am Matilda. Usually I play Sitsu.
And like I said, I am Ruby, and usually I play Inyo. But today we are here to answer all of your burning questions, as well as just talk and discuss what's been going on in the campaign. So if you do have a question or you're interested in asking a specific question, please do not hesitate to send it through us in the chat on either Twitch or YouTube. We will be looking and watching. Otherwise, we're going to be rolling and answering the questions that we've kind of pulled together ourselves. So I hope you guys enjoyed today. So why don't we just start off with Matilda rolling a dice, and we'll go from there. How's that sound, guys?
Finally, a good reason to use physical dice.
We never use physical dice, ever.
That would be... Alright.
What you
I
got?
rolled an 8.
Number 8.
So Ruby and Snash. What rules in 5th edition do you prefer to ignore or change? What house or table rules do you like to recommend for games that you play at? And what rules in our game do you wish we didn't use or would you add?
I got a good one.
I'm going to let Snash handle that because I have to think about that for a second, to be honest.
It's already been solved.
Okay.
Potions as bonus actions. I don't know if you guys have been watching with the new 4 rules, is that they put that into effect now.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be to drink a potion was a full action. That's hard. So potions as bonus actions, I'm a big fan of. I'm also a big fan of, I've seen it a lot at tables. I believe NADPOD does it too, where you can use a bonus action to take a potion and then roll for it. Or if you exceed and use your full action to take a potion, then you get the max healing from that potion, which I think is like super cool.
Like automatically it would max out whatever it could be. Okay, that's really cool.
It gives a good reward for taking up the action economy instead of doing something else more useful.
Right, instead of doing
the argument against action potions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's mine.
I agree with that one. That's one of my, I think that's something one of the things they're doing good with the new rule book that they're bringing out, but bonus action potions has been a homebrew rule that was so widespread we literally bullied Wizards of the Coast into making it canon, so.
Exactly, yeah.
Get that. I 100% agree. I'm not sure what table rules I would most recommend. Nothing pops specifically to my head when it comes to that.
I have one that could cause controversy for people who have strong opinions about this. Unless it's a really high cost consumed component, I am a huge fan of ignoring spell components and encumbrance weight. So unless it's like Revivify where you need the diamond, I don't care what the spell requires, honestly.
I feel a little different about it. So as a player, I'm no cost of components. Yeah, I'm good, all that. But if I were to DM personally, I would love the ability to be here's all these stores and here's all these little things that you have to collect to do your spells, because spells feel pretty powerful, you know what I mean? And if it's for instance, this is a good example with Woe and Find Familiar. She is constantly bringing him back. But if it had a cost to it, then maybe she wouldn't view her familiar as so expendable as she does. Or I wouldn't view it as as expendable if I know that I'm like, I only have like 3 more summons, or I only have 1 more summons of my familiar until maybe we go back to town. And if he dies, I'm shit out of luck until we can go somewhere where I can get some incense.
So not just taking the time impact of the spell, but the actual materials that are listed for the spell.
Yeah.
Are you saying this for like every spell, or just for the ritual casting spells, really?
I mean, I think it would be cute if you're like, you know, you go to like 2 different shops and you're like, do you have any copper wire? They're like, what do you need? I need a piece of copper wire, please. You know, and like hunting down the specific components. My first game that I played with, my husband was playing a druid and he was looking for a sprig of holly, and he kept asking our DM, he's like, is there any like holly bushes around or anything? And our DM was like, what are you, no. And then like next session he's like, yeah, is there like somewhere I could buy like a twig of holly in this town? And he's like, probably not, because the DM wasn't picking up that he thought that he had to get every single component to cast the spells. And we were all like, why aren't you casting your spells? And he was like, oh, I need all the ingredients.
Okay.
DM's like, nah, that doesn't matter. He's like, well, shit, would have liked to know.
Yeah, I would have liked to know that. Yeah, I can get that. Some assumptions that we make when we play, we always need to just ask for clarification, I feel like, depending on who you're playing with. Yeah. Because every DM is going to be a little different. Every DM will either kind of establish a rule or a line they don't want you to cross, or be very flexible with those lines. And I've always appreciated how Nick is our dungeon master, manages that really well. I feel like he would really be able to share what table rules he most recommends, I feel like, as well.
And he does so much like homebrew to his things. Like, there's no health potions, there's so many other, and it's very like, he's very clear on what everything is, but it's very intricate in its design.
Yeah, other than like stat mechanics, almost nothing we have in the campaign is rules as written. It's almost entirely homebrewed,
which is really kind of fun, because then you're like, I have no idea what this item is.
Yeah. That has been really fun.
Like, I have zero clue what this is going to do, versus, you know, so then you kind of get the like refresh of like first time playing D&D, because you're not familiar with anything.
All right, I think we tackled that one.
Snash, your turn to roll.
14.
14.
Ooh. I'm going to ask Ruby this one.
Ooh, okay.
What class, subclass, or multiclass have you wanted to play but never had the chance to?
Oh, I think the one that I want to play next is the like wizard sorcerer combination, that multi-class. I don't know, like I haven't done a lot of research on it, but I enjoy casting spells in the paladin and the cleric and the ranger rogue situation, but I really want to delve a bit deeper into the more magical side of things. So when I think about other classes, I focus on those two specifically, and I haven't had the chance to play them yet, so probably my next character I'll be leaning towards those. Just I think it would be a good combination of someone that has inherent magic but that also studied really hard at magic as well to get what they wanted. What about you guys?
I've kind of always wanted to play a wizard too. I feel like I've kind of dabbled into everything. I don't know. I think I just want to play a wizard because I want a different spell list at this point.
That's fair.
Honestly, fighter.
Really?
One of the few that I haven't played.
Like a battle master?
Yeah.
I love it.
I can see that. You know what? Thinking of that, so after Wizard Sorcerer, I think would then be a monk, because I've never played a monk. I've seen Matilda play a monk monks. Pretty epically.
Oh, Cortinius.
Oh, poor Cortinius.
No, Cortinius doesn't.
Well, But
Well,
I definitely think that would be an interesting concept. When I read articles about monks, it's like it's really scary when you think about somebody running at you with just clothes on and fists, and they're just coming straight at you to
Or
smack you in the
someone
face.
just running straight up a wall.
Yeah,
like
just straight up a wall, doing whatever athletically. It's just
no
like,
fall
oh my
damage.
gosh, it's mind-bogglingly cool. But it's still, I love magic a little bit more in the physical aspect of it, so I think that's why I lean more to that wizard sorcerer option instead. So,
Ruby, want to roll?
yeah, I pulled out my dice. I never get to use it, so I grabbed my bucket. So let's see. 3. Let's see. This is actually going to be for all 3 of us, which we've kind of been doing anyways. But I think Nick put this one in there himself because he said, Matilda, Snash, and Ruby, describe how you go about looking to fill a table vacancy. What do you look for in your recruitment? What are red flags to look out for?
Oh boy.
We just
Really
had a new
easy.
recruit too, so it's kind of
Super easy. Courteousness. Like, that's just a given. Especially when you're playing a game where there's so much talking. Finding people who, like, know that there's, like, a balance to how much we each participate. And to be, like, involved in not just playing a single player campaign with a party attached.
Matilda.
I guess it kind of builds off of that. Especially with online, it's a lot harder playing over Discord to try to negate the talking over or the interrupting, because you can't always see what people are doing and body language signals of whether they've finished the thought or not. But the courteousness with that, red flags kind of go with the not playing a single player campaign with a party attached, but also just not, whether they respect a DM's ruling, whether they are constantly arguing or constantly interrupting to try and point out something that they would have done differently or they think should be done differently. And that's not to say, like, oh, hey, no, that's not how my spell worked. It's this way. Like, in the moment is not a bad thing. But if it's, 3 turns later and someone is actively playing out a scene and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and do this next turn, by the way, like in the middle of what they're doing.
When I think about this, I think about how just to fill the vacancy, and a lot of the main part of it is we go on Facebook or Discords, or we reach out to our local D&D groups, or even friends, family members, people that we know that play, that would be interested, because you always want to almost already have a connection with someone when you bring them in, because like Snash and Matilda have said, that's very key. But using different online platforms, reaching out to different friends, that's really the first way I think about filling a vacancy. And then again, it goes into an actual interview, a conversation, seeing the connection. I mean, one time, which we've talked about this before, like we literally had, what was it, almost 15 to 20 people in one giant chat room with 3 members of the party that were there plus the DM, and we were playing a version of the game, watching them play and interact, and how they play their characters and how they manage themselves within such a large group. But it's not the best way. I don't think it was the best way for us to have done that, but it was a really fun moment. It's still at our YouTube page, actually, I think. Did we record that one? I can't remember. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. So, very chaotic, obviously, and we took...
But we got Snash out of it.
We did get Snash out of it.
Hey!
Yes, we did. We love her very much, and we've taken to doing it, a little more calmer, I think. And
Snash, do we share with the stream where we found you from?
Yeah, go for it.
Because I think it's relevant to like 90% of the characters I build.
Snash was someone that I brought into our silly interview process from a Discord channel centered around smut and fantasy reading.
Oh,
Fairy porn.
mm-hmm,
Yep.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that's why we all get along so well. Truly.
Yeah.
kind of on
yeah.
that same thing. It just, especially the very roleplay heavy campaign Nick has built for us. This is a weird form of live theater improv, and there is a large amount of asking you to be a character involved, and that necessitates vulnerability with what you're doing and whether you can have emotional interactions during the session, and that requires a level of comfort with who you're playing with. And I think we've gotten really lucky with the fact that before we joined this, we were all strangers and didn't know each other really, and it's worked out well, but that is something that's hard to find, to build a table where you feel comfortable having that vulnerability to actually roleplay.
You don't have to be friends with your D&D party, people you play with, but I think it helps if friendships form amongst you, because then you kind of get an extra level of like, I make eye contact with you and we all know what each other are thinking because I know how you play, you know, or I know your personality, and I know what, maybe if I do something in character, I will do something because I know particularly you might laugh at that, or, you know, maybe it'll bother you a little bit, you know. But I think, yeah, I think it definitely, personality wise, is very helpful to have. Not saying that everybody has to have the same personality, but I think really finding a group that feels comfortable enough for you to role play or cry or whatever during your game.
I agree, honestly, though, because 100%, if you look over the last few sessions where we've had such impactful emotional sessions, you know, we feed off of each other in those interactions. And I think the best one that I recall most recently is where I pissed Matilda, well, not Matilda really off, but I pissed Titsu off as Inyo really great. And she was messaging me behind in Discord, was like, I'm not mad at you. I'm not. You're doing awesome. Keep going, you know? And the fact that we can do that, you know?
Those, like, that's sort of an added, like, safety tool of, like, messaging you out of character, like, hey, I'm not actually mad at you, but I'm gonna yell at you.
I'm gonna yell at you. And I was like, go for it. Yell at me on stream.
I think that's an important thing to be able to do. Like, we joke a lot of the worst and best parts of sessions are just when Nick is screaming at us in whichever character he's portraying at the time. But there's also that comfort of like, no, we know Nick outside of this session. Yeah. We know he's not actually yelling at us right now.
Or even if he's not yelling, and he talks in that really soft, quiet, like deadly voice that
just really threatening,
really
dark
threatening,
shit.
And you're like, oh god, I'm gonna die.
But just calmly describing hundreds of people just twisting their own heads off.
Yep, that was a fun one. Yeah. All right.
And it is like a wonderful thing to have that level of comfort so you can go into those themes of like really kind of graphic, dark stuff that on the surface, it's like, that's not fun with friends, but
yeah. No, yeah, agreed. Oh man. Okay, Nash, why don't we go ahead and go to the next one? You roll for it.
Okay.
It's my turn to roll.
You can roll. You roll.
You just rolled, Ruby.
Did I just roll? Were we still in the one? Okay, sorry. My bad. I didn't realize Matilda hadn't rolled. That was my bad. Trying to keep it in order here.
I almost rolled the same thing as last time, but it was different. Okay.
What you got?
This is a good one for all of us too. I think most of these are gonna be, but
awesome.
How do you feel when your DM takes creative liberty with elements from your character's backstory? Is there a right and wrong way for a DM to do this?
Well... No.
Are you okay with not remembering things?
Are you okay with your character not remembering things? What do you mean? Your character's not gonna remember shit. Alright, boss. Sure,
but he asked you ahead of time.
Or no, he
that
did.
Was okay.
He did, and I was okay with that. And that's, you know, I thought it would be a fun way to just develop the character herself, because she was very rough around the edges at first. I mean, if you've watched any of the sessions, Inyo's not an emotional person, but she's become more emotional, and it surprises I think it surprises Snash and Matilda a lot when suddenly I will let, or Inyo herself lets them like comfort her or hug her or like interact, or she offers some type of comfort because that's not normal for her since the beginning. And so him having those liberties, I think it's great, because if you're not willing to develop your backstory and you just want to keep yourself in this one narrow lane and constantly keep your character kind of the same, that's not growing and developing the story itself. That's not the live theater that I think we often try to strive for on our channel and as a group.
So I have a different take on this.
Oh.
I think that if it's done in a way that it promotes the story that you're asking to tell when you submit your backstory to your DM, I think creative liberty is a good thing. I think if it's done in a way where it's a DM wanting to twist and change the backstory, regardless of what story you were trying to tell, is when it becomes harmful.
Yeah, I could see that. And that's, I think, where communication, like we've mentioned, is really important. Because you can give them those liberties, but you can also, I could have said no. I want them to be able to remember everything, you know?
Yeah, I feel like your backstory is kind of like, well, it is your backstory itself, but it's like, as a player, it's like, this is what I have created, right? You're like, this is what I have created. And it's very, for me, it's dependent on how the DM goes about it. So like, for instance, I gave Nick Woe, and I was like, and he's like, oh, who's someone from her past that she just really doesn't get along with? And I was like, ah, fuck it. She has an ex-boyfriend, and I don't know, she ate his finger or something. And I was not expecting the encompassing Lyle situation that became, and he like fleshed out a whole character from that. I wasn't expecting like that interaction to that level.
One throwaway line, and now Lyle's the big bad.
Right? Because I was like, what would be the funny, like a normal person, who would be the worst person in their life? Probably their ex, right?
Many people would say yes, my ex is the worst person. Some wouldn't, but many would.
So like, I really enjoyed that. What I don't enjoy as a character or a player is if I have a character and maybe they have characters in their backstory, and those characters then are pulled into the game and they are changed in a way that goes like beyond what their fundamentals were. Like, I had a game where I had a father figure in my life, and then he came into the game that we were playing, and all of a sudden he was like, I don't care about you. And I was like, no, this is the dude who raised me. And what are you talking about? And he was just like, yeah, he's not going to join your party and keep you safe. Like, what are you talking? And I was like, oh, that kind of sucks a little bit. And then it kind of felt like that character that I had created in my own backstory was completely different than who I was interacting with as in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's all push and shove or dependent on the DM. And as long as they're respectful to the core creativity that you have already brought to the table, then it's okay.
Yeah, I agree. So there's a right and wrong way to do it. I mean, Nick handles it very well and often asks for our feedback on certain situations. I mean, I'll reach out to him to talk about the backstory to make sure that, you know, if I feel like maybe I'm going to go an extreme way or a different way, will that flow well? I want to give him a heads up, you know, and that we have that is, I think a right way to run it. But there are moments where it could completely go wrong, you know, maybe taken in the opposite direction of what we want. It's just up to you and your relationship and how you want the campaign to be run or how you want your character to be run. So at the end of the day, you still have plenty of control. Don't let a DM, train run you over and take control of everything and you not enjoy it.
All right,
My turn now?
Your turn, ma'am.
Okay. Ooh, 2.
Okay.
Oh. Well, I can't ask this because
I think you can, because it's basically for us what is our current DM? What things has
Yes.
Nick
Matilda,
done?
what
Nick
has
wrote this.
Nick done that has surprised you?
Yes, there we go. Our current DM, Nick.
Well, first off, just the sheer amount of effort that Nick has put into this campaign. It's going so far as the little Easter eggs with the acrostic spelling out Ennio in her missives that we never noticed. And he kept like, hey, roll a intelligence, see if you notice this thing, and never rolled high enough, so it just was like 7-8 sessions of us not seeing it. But being absolutely willing to run with like small tidbits from the backstory, and all of a sudden we get that big reveal later, that big twist. Like,
What about you, Ruby? Anything that's kind of gotten you good?
I mean, for this campaign, my current character, the little things of like what Inyo's reading are invisible. You know, like, because that was, I was completely shocked that like she's, only able to see stuff like that. Or when it comes to like the nightmares or knowledge, and how each of us was given a sheet that had rumors or clues on it. And it wasn't until, gosh, we were so far in, it felt like, that suddenly we were like bombarding each other with all these rumors and actually having a full discussion about it. And then it actually turned out to be something really valuable. That was really surprising, because sometimes, he'll drop these tidbits and they don't turn out to be anything. I think the biggest thing, most surprising thing, was for me and my character, how many people that she's lost in this campaign. It's been the most surprising thing for me, and as a player I'm fine, but as Inyo it's something that's heartbreaking every time I think about it, because it continues to happen to her. And it's like she gains one mentor to lose another one, and to lose that one, and then turn around and lose like somebody that she's becoming really close to friends with. So little surprises like that really make the story amazing. And while they can be super surprising and emotional when they happen, looking back, they're really impactful and fun and enjoyable when I review and think back on everything we've done. So yeah. Oh, the most fun thing recently is the horse. That's been the most fun and surprising thing. I did want to say that.
Because there's no horses.
Rayfin's horse token thingy. And that's been really fun. And the fact that I don't use this a lot just yet, but Inyo can create a token and it'll be an animal. I'll call an animal onto the board, and that is something else he developed and put into Foundry for us. And so those two things, like,
he knows we love our pets.
Oh, we love our pets. It's ridiculous.
Just as the party.
Yeah. So yeah, what about you, Snatch? Come on, share.
The one night where we were playing, and it was, I think, the very end of session, and Wo was like having a conversation with her patron at the time, which at the time it was Order, and I had asked, what did I do? I asked about his brother. And he dropped a little bit of sprinkling of naming off the gods, that it was like like you can call it by all these different names. And I just remember me and Matilda were and then we stayed up past stream trying to figure it all out.
Now when he revealed Telk and G,
it was just one of those moments that when you're playing the game and you are not expecting the answer that you're given, but that makes it so much better, because your brain is already going like, okay, wait, but then, okay, wait, okay, oh my gosh, what else? And it's just like that kind of like, and then I remember waking up the next day and driving to work, or no, I was waking up the next day and laying in bed, and I was just like, I wonder who this god is. And it was like, you know, just that you can't stop thinking about it after hearing that little information. And then he's like, all right, end of session.
Yeah.
Night, guys.
It's always fun when Nick ends us on some type of cliffhanger and just drops a bomb of, even if it's the smallest little nugget.
Or a literal bomb.
A little bomb.
Yeah.
That one. That was, yeah,
And then end session.
Yeah.
Casually says, okay, good night.
Well, these two are my note takers down here because I'll manage the stream, and though I'll try sometimes to take notes, a lot of the time I'm doing too much as like a player and the stream manager. And so when I see their faces light up, my brain goes, oh no, I might have missed something. I'm gonna have to message them later. And so I always watch y'all's faces when y'all aren't thinking about anything or when y'all aren't looking to see what y'all might be getting.
Just the amount of like theorizing and how invested we've gotten in the story.
Yeah.
And it's a very lovely thing to have this story written and created for us that is getting the same reaction for us as like watching a TV show. And it's like, okay, wait till next week, or like cliffhanger for the season.
Yes,
It's fun.
very much so. You think about it all the time.
Far, far too often.
Yep. Far too often. Okay.
All right,
Okay.
Ruby.
Ruby?
My turn. Nope. I gotta reroll. I just got 2 again. Okay. So I got 9. So, Snash, Matilda, what class, subclass, or race do you wish existed in 5th edition?
That's so hard.
I know. I thought so too. That's a hard one.
I think something like a witch doctor would be so cool.
Okay. Yeah.
Like an actual witch. You know what I mean? Like not a sorcerer, not a wizard, like an
Like
actual
Baba Yaga.
witch. Yeah, like a potions. Yeah.
So not like a hag, but like something kind of
Like
in the
folk
realm.
witchcraft.
line. Yeah. Okay.
I think there's a lot of homebrew classes like that. I believe witch doctor is one of them.
Mhm.
But I think that would be something that would be very fun to play, because I feel like a lot of people gravitate to like warlocks because of that like spooky factor. But I would love to have like, I guess, almost like a wizard in a different font, like someone who's creating their own magic through means or somewhat natural as well. Kind of like a wizard sorcerer crossover.
Okay.
I have been jokingly saying this since the movie came out. I want there to be a Bene Gesserit class
Ooh. Okay.
from Dune.
That would be really interesting. But yeah. Okay. I get that.
There's a little touch of magic, but there's also very strong like close combat and high charisma with like the voice. You could flash that out for command or suggestion, but just a Bene Gesserit class.
That would be cool. That'd be very cool.
I'm gonna play one someday.
He's already thinking about it, guys. She's gonna homebrew that up.
Probably out there.
it's
It
somewhere out
probably
there.
exists.
With some type of outline.
There's like rough outlines that exist in various Reddit subthreads, but no one's gotten like a fleshed out one that actually seems to fit.
So I know this is a little weird to think about because I don't know all the classes. I know I've seen some homebrew of some of the things I've already thought about, but I kind of, and it might just have to be like a subclass, but I kind of want like a cook subclass. And the reason I say that is if anybody recalls, Kale was a bit of a cook, but he wasn't
Hail!
a
Oh.
cook, you know?
He was
So
a terrible cook,
you
but
want-
he was a cook.
Yeah.
You want the Senshi from Delicious in Dungeon
Yeah.
class.
Yes.
basically.
Yes. Basically, yes. Yes. Sinchi from Delicious
I
in
love that.
Dungeons, because I think that would just be, and something. There's some type of similarities too, because when I think us cook, I think, okay, what about like, let's nail down into like the florist botanist type style. It's not like a moon druid that does the spores, but I'm talking about someone that like interacts with plants, and then their magic is truly plant based, so they have some type of druid traits, but they don't wild shape or anything like that. You know what I mean? They do plants, they do herbs, remedies, potions, and then that goes into what you were talking about with like the witch doctor type class. So anytime I think about a new class, I kind of think about something that's maybe more mundane, that's like every day that we do, but that you could make epically into some type of class or character that would just wow everybody.
Something I want to build out a bartender class.
Ooh, there you go.
You get the magic
Closest
from...
as you can get is the College of Mixology.
Yeah.
I was gonna say they should also have a little brawler in them as well.
I would say that there needs to be a better version of Tavern Brawler.
Yeah, the better
'Cause
version.
the idea is really great, but the feat's not
Yeah, no,
super great.
That's not super great. Okay,
All right.
Matilda, you're up.
Let's see. Nope. Okay. This is a fun one. Realistically, how much time do you spend in a week playing, preparing, planning, discussing, or otherwise engaging with Dungeons and Dragons?
I'm ashamed to admit to this one. How much? Break it down in times. I think about it multiple times a day. Let's be for real. I'm posting the TikToks, and I'm checking our YouTube channel, so it's on my mind with that stuff. But I got a long commute, so I'm thinking about my characters, and I'm thinking about my campaigns, and it's a lot. And then I'm listening to podcasts all day at work. It's all consuming.
Scheduling not an issue. I play somewhere from 12 to 20 hours a week.
Wow, girl,
It's a drug.
that's a little bit of an
Because I
obsession.
have 3 campaigns that I'm in that are all long-term, same campaign,
I only
multi-year.
have 2.
And they're all at least like 4-hour sessions. Sometimes they're longer.
Fair.
And then I engage with D&D adjacent media fairly often, watching TikToks, reading different like Reddit threads, reading through different like theories, discussions on rules, character
Sending
builds,
memes.
sending probably 2 to 3 hours a day of just spamming Snash with a bunch of D&D related things.
I have to rotate through everyone that I message so that I don't send people like 6 messages in a row.
I don't have that hesitation. Sorry. Well,
No,
then,
I
like,
enjoy it.
I as a person am a planner. I like to plan a bunch of stuff out, and so, like, I even to the point of like I'm already down to trying to plan a menu for the in-person gathering we're hoping to have in February.
Spoilers.
So
Spoilers
not-
right there.
that's not a spoiler yet, because it might not happen. So.
We're gonna try.
It'll happen.
And then my college buddies do a similar thing, and then we do like food plates for the Sunday campaign in person. And so it's down to like, okay, what foods do I associate with D&D? Making D&D drinks. I'm planning an in-person tavern dinner event
Nice.
as part of my real life job that is D&D themed. So I'm currently trying to write a script for 6 different ambient characters to give quest hooks. Like, I'm actually getting paid for some of this.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
It's entirely too much of my life is D&D fantasy based at this point.
It all just melts together at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Books, movies, TV.
Right? Because then you have a
Games.
book that you're reading and you start thinking about
D&D.
how you would want to build a character out of that, or what sort of campaign, or like what traits you like,
Mhm.
or it just all blends together.
So I only spend Wednesday nights playing. I haven't joined any other additional campaigns outside of this. When it comes to preparing, planning, discussing, or otherwise engaging, it's honestly going to depend. It's kind of a week by week because it changes. Because some weeks I'll put up to 40 hours into preparing for the stream, editing videos, finding new things, especially if I get a sudden burst of inspiration. I mean, you guys have seen it. I'll suddenly send you like 10 different things. And you're like, oh my gosh, Ruby, what are you doing? And it's just flooding our Discord channel with like a bunch of memes or videos and clips from, you know, our lives. And then sometimes it's, you know, I'll spend maybe 10 hours at most just planning and preparing for what's to come. I do a lot of on-the-fly planning beforehand because I do work, and I often try not to distract myself with it at work. I have let myself get distracted by it at work, though. Those are the really busy weeks where I do it a lot of it. Overall, yeah, it's it takes up a good portion of it, and I will randomly think about it when I'm cooking dinner. It'll just suddenly cross my mind something about Inyo or Sitsu or Woe or Rapid and Gobblefunk, and it's just, then I'll start going down a train of thought. So it really just depends on what's going on, what I'm doing, but I have put a lot of preparation and planning into certain aspects of what we do, of our sessions, or when I'm planning a session for you guys, which I am thinking about that, by the way. Numbers are racking up. I have a really fun idea, and I'm gonna have to run a few things by you guys in preparation for it, but you know, I'm building
Fun
some
little
stuff
shameless
together.
plug. When our YouTube gets to 300 subs, she has to run another one shot for us.
Ooh, what if we change the stakes?
Mhm.
Oh.
What if we change when our Twitch gets to 100?
Ooh.
We could do that, yeah.
We could do both.
Because we've just started streaming on Twitch. For those on Twitch, we're so happy you're with us. Those on YouTube,
We're almost
we're also on Twitch.
2/10 of the way there.
It's about the equal distance.
And I mean, the biggest thing is, you know, once we hit that goal, it'll probably be the next week or the week after that we'll do it. But we'll announce it and let you guys know. But that is something we're doing. If you want to invite your friends to subscribe on YouTube and Discord, we're just working to gain followers. Not Discord, subscribe on Twitch and YouTube, but do join us on Discord. We're in there to answer questions, ask stuff, and we have a fun feature called Gobblefunk, or Ask Gobblefunk, if you ever want to come in and ask him.
Help us force Ruby to DM more, as she was the newest player, like experience-wise, when she joined For the Win. So we've just decided to torture her by making her run one-shots when we hit milestones.
Oh yeah, and I already know the characters they're going to be playing, so I'm building the next one-shot around the characters they introduced to me last time. So...
Well, you know 2 of us.
Oh yeah, I know there's going to be
Nick's going to have to make a new one.
Nick and Scott's going to be making a new one, but because I killed off 2 of them, by the way. It was really funny.
Scott could be the Bonnerman patriarch.
We might need to talk about
Bonnerman.
that. We might need to
Daddy
talk about that. That
Bonnerman.
could be a fun one. I like the sound of that. All right.
Scott, if you're listening, I'm sorry.
We're already throwing you into pre-designed roles. Okay, so...
Nash, your turn to roll.
Wait. Yeah, because you just rolled, didn't you,
That's
Matilda? Yeah.
A natural 20.
That you get to choose.
And we do have a
I
lot more
get to
questions,
choose.
so don't forget you can scroll down and ask specific character questions as well. In our
All right,
list.
so I actually have a question I just thought of. When we were talking about how much we think about D&D.
Mhm.
It may not pertain to either one of you, but this definitely pertains to me. A lot of times I have shower thoughts about D&D, aka like I'm taking a shower and then all of a sudden I'm thinking of a hypothetical like conversation that my character or situation that my character might be going through. Like I've definitely thought about like how I remember after Enyo had killed Lyle's girlfriend, I was like, how is Woe gonna like react to Enyo? And I was like, maybe I'll like push her off a cliff or something. I wonder how that would play out. Blah 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 blah.
Thanks, Will.
What do you think is the most like unhinged shower thought you've had about like a situation or a conversation that you've thought of your character having?
I already know the answer to this one.
Okay,
Go for
go
it.
for it.
Sitsu confronting the matriarch from Le Chauffin after they were corrupted. That scenario, like so many different versions of that rehearsed in my bathroom.
Yes. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Uh-huh.
Like when you're like, this is what I would say if they said this to me.
And it's hard to, because Nick is a phenomenal improv guy with those sort of roleplay things, so it's hard to plan out what I think the character is going to say back.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go into the next session and that doesn't happen at all.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So there were like, it's the like decision tree in my head of like, okay, it could play out this way. I'm going to run through that. Oh, but what if he says this?
Mm. Yeah, so when Enyo, a couple of things, obviously, I've had more than one thought, but the most impactful one I think was before she was going to meet Vamp Daddy, Raven, whatever we want to call him, and see her memories, and then after she completed the trial, because I kept replaying in my mind, okay, I'm completing this trial, Enyo's completing this trial, it's going to be really impactful, and you know, after this, when I see him, he's going to be like my mentor. He's not my maker, because we don't have that in this thing. It's not that type of vampire, but he's going to be educating me, teaching me, you know, we're going to talk about all this stuff, we're going to really, you know, become together. And I had all these plans to ask all these questions of Nick, and I was like going through it over and over again of how, you know, strong and excited she was going to be, and then he's dead.
Oh God, yeah.
I was just like, I've been crushed just a little bit. My heart just broke just a little bit more. Enyo's heart definitely broke. All those cracks are running through her heart. I will say, just like you were talking about when I killed Lyle's girlfriend, I was thinking about how can I make sure Woe doesn't get pissier than she already is at when you like I was running through that scenario too. So there's, you know, little things like that. And I will say, you know, Nick really, he does do a great job of role playing that with us, but it's not that frustrating, but it kind of can be frustrating for us when we play these scenarios out of the shower in our heads when we're just at home and it doesn't happen. You know, none of that happens. You just almost, you know, make a plan, try and execute, throw it out the window, because that's not what's going to happen by the time the stream actually starts. So
I think that says something to the level of like immersion that we experience as like when you do go through, like just like in real life, you know, you have those conversations that you would have with someone, but like in your head, and then you're like, oh wait, that's probably not what's going to end up happening. But like the immersion level of the game gets to you to the point that you're like, well, if I came across this person, like for Woe, it was going to be like, I thought about it like probably 20 times. I was like, oh, I can't wait. I want to do this because I want to see Matilda and Ruby's Nick's face when I just like bite fucking Erdan's face off during this date, right? And then the way the game was playing, I switched classes and I went to a sorcerer for a while, and I was not eating people, so I was like, I'm bleeding out, so I can't do that, but God, I really want to.
mm-hmm.
So never getting to have that, like, it was like right there, but I was like so tempted. Sarah was like, smash the button,
Mm-hmm.
but I was like, no, Lo's not gonna do that. She's gonna be a big girl.
I will
The
say, I love the
closest-
fly moments.
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
The what moment?
The on-the-fly moments that we do, where it pivotally changes the story, that we didn't think about at all, but suddenly it gets presented to us an opportunity. Those have been the most fun.
The closest thing for Sitsu that kind of like you're describing with the Eridan pivot and then never getting that would probably be the going forward, going back.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to deal with this anymore. But okay, I guess we are.
I was scared of going, as a player, I was scared of going forward because I was like, what if the story's over really quickly though?
There's that like almost metagame thought of, I don't want this character to end. So how do we prolong this story?
Just restart it. Just restart from the first save. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Just play it again.
Let's
fine.
pick every conversation option this time around.
All right, Ruby.
Okay. We're going to
your
roll
roll.
this one, and then we'll take a break. You guys are cool with that?
I'm cool with that.
Okay. And thinking back to your earlier days of D&D, what advice might you give your past self? Don't everybody jump up at once. It's okay.
Trying to think of something that I haven't already said.
Don't stay at a bad table just because you want to play the game.
I was just thinking of something similar. Don't play with people that you don't enjoy being around. Make sure that the people that you're playing with are people that you feel comfortable with. Because I can say coming into this group here has opened me up so much more in the way that I play D&D, because their like acceptance of roleplay and encouragement just makes it flow so much better and has given me even more enjoyment out of the game. So I would definitely say, like, don't, to myself, I would say, don't be in a group that doesn't make you feel comfortable being yourself.
I think that's something. Actually, no, I'm not going to apologize for touching on this. I think that's something especially important to emphasize as women playing D&D. There is a much higher chance you end up at a table where someone's being a dick because they don't think you should be at the table. Don't be afraid to call them on it or find somewhere else to play.
Don't be afraid to state that you're uncomfortable with the way someone treats you at a table.
Yes. Out loud to the whole group.
It's good advice. Sound advice.
100%. I think that's very important. I think as someone, that still feels relatively new, I think anybody can kind of feel this way, but don't sweat the small stuff too hard. Ask your questions. Like, if you're in the middle of trying to complete an action and you don't always remember if your character's able to do something, or if maybe your sheet, if it's in front of you or if it's digital, doesn't really help clarify, but you want to try and do something, don't hesitate to speak up and ask your other members about key movements. Or one thing, that I'll do is I'll message the Death Girls, I'll message Rayfin, and I'll be like, hey, what about doing this? Or I'll message the DM even. I'll be like, hey, can I execute this on my next turn? Would this work? Is that possible? And sometimes, Nick will be like, well, just give it a shot. Whereas, everybody else on my actual party will kind of help walk through it, and it really makes it more enjoyable to play, because You just kind of have to let that fear go, because I don't think there's a wrong way to play the game. People will try and tell you there's a right way to, and there's not. There's no right or wrong way to play the game. You play the game how you want to.
And I think if you're at a table that is a good table, every single person at that table is going to be willing to help you.
Yeah.
Because I would never play at a table that would look down upon someone for not knowing a rule or not knowing a mechanic.
Yeah.
Because everybody's new at some point, and it's not like someone's going to read through thousands of pages of source books, you know. We learn as we go.
And that's the way it is for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, even if, like, I've been playing this game for over a decade, I don't have every spell memorized, range and casting time and everything. Like, just ask. There's no harm in it.
And as a player yourself, don't be afraid to call your DM out when your other players do something. I think a prime example is we often will forget attacks, opportunities, like areas where we might miss something ourselves. So don't be afraid to, like, hey, that's an opportunity attack. If one of your team members is just actively going and they're playing, their mind might be a one track on what they want to do next because they've set themselves up for that, and they'll forget about
like,
it.
Hey, you're blessed, by the way.
You're blessed.
Yeah.
Keep going,
Yeah.
you know. But
Yeah.
don't forget that. You know, there's been moments where I'll look back and I'm like, oh damn, my character could have done that or that. That might have been a bit more impactful, you know. I mean, there's passive abilities that you forget about, so help each other. And if you're ever at a table that isn't willing to listen to that, or isn't ready to have that be thrown out at any time, even if it disrupts the action of the gameplay, then you probably need to find another table that would work better for you. Find a different area of D&D, a different group that would be better able to support you, especially if you're new. Because that's one thing I've really appreciated for everybody that's been within the For the Win group, is the willingness to help each other and to shout out at each other and to advise each other. So like Snow said, you know, we're not all going to read through the source material. We love playing it more than we love reading on it.
And there's no reason to read through all of it. You don't need to have it all memorized.
Unless you're really weird and really like doing that type of
I mean, if you're a little OCD and you really want to do that, go for it. We're not telling you not to do that. We're just saying
Have
many
fun.
of us don't do that. It's
You
having
don't-
fun.
You don't have to have the player's handbook memorized to play D&D.
It's gonna change anyways, so
Yep.
It has very little actual impact on the game.
yeah.
True. All right, well, we're going to take a short break here. We're a little past the first hour. We will be back shortly. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll see you shortly. And we're back, guys. All right, here to answer more questions. And if you have any burning questions, please do not hesitate to send them to us in the chat. We will be happy to answer them. But we are going to go ahead and continue on with the questions we have kind of pre-prepared. So Matilda, roll us a d20.
Let's see what we get. Oh no, it's so close. Okay, no, we've already done that one. Nope. Oh, okay. Do you have any experience with other tabletop role-playing games? And if so, which games? What did you enjoy or not enjoy about those systems and design?
Well, I mean, I haven't really. I DM'd called the one with the bears, a honey heist. But other than that, I haven't played anything other than D&D. I think I'm just too loyal to try something else.
Can I get clarification? Because
Go for it.
I play video games. So are we talking about digital as well?
Tabletop.
Just poor tabletop?
So not video games.
Okay. Because RPGs, or like digital TTRPGs, there's tons of different varieties of that. But no, I really don't think I've played those. I mean, I played different games, but nothing that's like that. Nothing that's similar to D&D in that way. You know?
So someone reskinned 5e to be Star Wars based.
Oh, wow.
That was fun, and I would argue it's similar mechanics, but they changed up magic so that there was a difference between tech and force magic, which I thought was a fun split. Another one I've played is called Paranoia, and they had like a different dice system, a different skill tree system, and they had stats like Chutzpah and Moxie, and I thought that was kind of fun. But no, the majority has been D&D, which I will add on a question from Brian in chat real quick because it is kind of related. What is the longest, since we've all pretty much only played D&D, what is the longest single campaign you've been a part of?
Well, for me, that's kind of obvious. I started playing D&D was For the Win, so I would say the first one that Alex started us off.
Sona and Yosara.
Yeah, Sona and Yosara, I feel like is the longest one, but
I think this is coming up on the same.
this one is. Yeah, I was gonna say this is getting really close to what we had accomplished with Sona and Yosara. I wanted to say that maybe Nala and Izza. I thought about them, but I feel like that was still shorter in comparison to Sona and Yosara, wouldn't you say, Matilda?
Yeah, and I think that this campaign is getting to longer than that first one.
Yeah. So we're getting close to. We're not quite close to 30, but like once we hit 30, this will have been the longest campaign I've been in personally.
My second longest was a Curse of Strahd, and we got to, I think, 50 sessions of it.
Nice.
We were playing a lot.
Is that
but
like over a year? Is that over?
That's a little over a year, yeah. And it was an in-person game, which was fun. But my longest one I played was Tomb of Annihilation, and I played that for a year and 9 months. And I know that because I got pregnant shortly after we started that campaign, gave birth, and then had my son's first birthday while we were still playing Tomb of Annihilation. So it was kind of
way to mark the dates on that one. I really liked that.
Well, because
Did you have a Tomb of Annihilation themed birthday party?
No, absolutely not. He had a pizza party. He had a Vans Warped Tour pizza party.
Oh, pizza parties also very.
I love that. A Warped Tour 1-year-old birthday party.
Yeah, of course. What else would you expect? Because I mean, we were playing and we were very close to the end, and it was shortly after. Actually, we finished it about a year ago now. It was just like shortly after his birthday, and we were talking. And they're like, "How is your baby a year old?" And I was like, "Dude, I wasn't even pregnant when we started this campaign. Like, that's how long we've been playing this. Yeah."
Wow.
My college buddies, and it's not a module, it's a homebrew campaign, but we started either February or March of 2020, and we're still going. So
Wow.
Same characters.
no one's fully died yet, so we're all the same
Wow.
characters as we started with. So a little over 3 years for that one.
It's pretty awesome.
All right, Snash, your turn to roll.
Okay, we've done that. Okay, number 1.
Ooh.
Nat 1. Ugh.
Bleh.
Thinking ahead to the future, what elements, styles, locations, or themes would you like to explore in our next campaign?
That just.
Matilda? Ruby?
I want to. It's gonna be weird, but I want to go back and I want to do an epic wall fight again.
Oh, the siege mechanics?
Yes, I kind of want to do some siege mechanics. I kind of want to do a bit boat mechanics. I kind of want us to do something a little outside the norm when it comes to controlling our environment, not just walking here, fighting there. I mean, the puzzles in the prison were great, but I really kind of want a bit more of that. Does that make sense? I want something that is on theme with the world we're going to be in, but really introduces a whole new way of playing the game, including like the brawler mechanics that we've used previously. Like, that was fun, you know? Because we're not very passive. We don't suddenly say, "Hey, I'm going to knock this person out." We're like, "I'm going to kill you."
I feel like this is Nick farming for ideas.
He's probably listening in too. Damn.
He's gonna be. Hi, Nick.
Hey, Nick.
I want to play a happy ending campaign.
I would like a no strife campaign.
Oh my gosh.
No.
I'm just gonna troll Nick because we know you're there. We know you're listening.
Yep.
We're
You
aware.
know what I think we would do really well with
What?
is like a true like fairy campaign. Like, we're all like secretly fairies.
Wait, okay, hold on.
Just
If we
kidding.
do that, like, are we all like,
maybe-
it's where we're all changelings or something and none of us know we're
No,
changelings?
and we all have these like epic transformations and we turn into fairies with wings. No.
Ooh.
Maybe like a Magic Academy setting.
We're all in a school together and we
So like a big city
Smash
with a
and I
big
have been-
university.
Daydreaming about that.
hashtag Wings Club.
my
No,
gosh.
actually,
The Winx is gonna happen in the next campaign, regardless.
that was just spoofing off what I think our group would do really well in like a true Feywild campaign.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Go back to Feywild. Yeah, I will agree with that.
And as far as races go, it's like there's no humans, there's like no tieflings, there's like nothing like that. Like, you're gonna have to be a rabbit, or you're gonna have to be a pixie, or you're gonna have to be a satyr.
Okay.
And it's like all like fringe races, all like fringe magic, and it's like,
So we're Narniaing this bitch. Just Narnia
A
Oh.
all the
wild
way.
magic campaign would be amazing.
yeah, I
This is
think that would be really fun.
this is something I like, even just in the universe he's created with Martyria and Fyram, that like fringe race Feywild style, like after the schism in Fyram, when sort of the world was taken over with this like contorted magic. Like,
Yeah.
it'd be fun to play in like a
Oh, you mean, like,
magical fallout,
Thousands
basically.
of years before this
Yeah.
campaign.
Magical fallout, essentially.
That would be, yeah. And almost when I think about that, I also then lean in toward almost a primal world. Not just fae, but, you know, not post-apocalyptic,
Titans?
but yeah, almost
Elemental.
primally elemental. Like, wild magic is abundant. It's not just that, like, people are imbued with magic. Like, they can literally suddenly be walking through the forest and suddenly step in something and suddenly, like, you know, they're flooded with some type of ability or some type of power. Or they're killed because they stepped on the wrong fault line, you know? But something that really makes the world itself, the environment, dangerous. Not just the people, not just the creatures that could trick you, but the environment itself. You're having to be conscientious about where you're going. Like, we can't just run ahead on the map, you know, like we do sometimes, because we know, okay, even if we step on something, it'll be all right. No, it's like you have to be strategic, take your time, plan it out. I don't know, that would be interesting. Fun ideas.
That sounds fun.
All right, Ruby.
Okay, my turn.
Your roll.
Okay. Ooh, this is gonna really focus with you guys. What would be your real life ability scores? What class do you feel best align with? As you are.
Oh god.
So how do we want to do this?
I don't have set numbers.
So if you could set numbers, then maybe we should do that. Or would you want to say just
Maybe just the highest and lowest.
Yeah, okay. So what's your highest ability score?
My highest ability scores would probably be a tie with charisma and intelligence.
Okay. That's good. I can see that, yeah. Snash, what about you?
Wisdom.
Just
Yeah,
wisdom, straight up.
I feel like
and
I'm a
Dex would
very
be middle of the road.
perceptive person. I really pay attention to every little thing. And a lot of like my problem solving comes from just like common sense.
Yeah.
You know? It's not because I've read a book. Like, let me reference my job. It's not because I've taken mechanical classes.
Right.
It's because it's just common sense that the reason the throttle cable's not staying up is because it's not tight. So, like, let's check it out, figure it out.
I gotcha.
Stuff like that. I feel, and class-wise, God, that's so hard.
Think about it.
Because I would love to say that I'm a charismatic person, but I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, I don't know, maybe like a ranger.
You love rangers. That's very true. Are you very
Yeah,
dexterous,
a
though?
ranger.
Can you be
Yeah,
very dexterous?
I'm not like.
And I mean, that's an ability you can learn. That's something like when I think of ability scores, like dexterity, yes, it's something you can be inherently
I'm
good
not
at,
like
but you can learn it as well.
a monk, and I'm not like a fighter.
Okay.
Like, I'm strong, but I'm not crazy strong. It's more like I know how to apply myself correctly. So I feel like maybe that would be. Plus I love animals.
You do.
You could be a druid. You do work with nature.
I guess, yeah, I grow grass for a living, so spoilers alert, yeah, I guess I'm a druid.
Okay. So Druid Ranger would be kind of where you would lie in there.
Probably.
What about you, Matilda?
Bard.
Bard. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Bard for you. I could see that.
My day job is performing, so.
What about you, Ruby?
So my two current ones that are like the highest, I think, are probably Wisdom and Constitution. And
Oh my god, yeah, you can
Wisdom,
bear a lot of pain.
yeah, Wisdom, because I've always been street smart. You know, I've never been book smart. I've always been really intuitive and perceptive about people. I read a lot of fantasy novels, but I'm able to, like, you know, I could walk the streets and I walk a certain way that no one's going to come up to me or bother me if I don't want them to, or if I'm not inviting in a certain way, is what I like to say. And then Constitution, I've borne a lot of pain already in my life. I haven't had a kid. haven't gotten pregnant or anything. I know that's like one of the highest forms of pain a lot of women experience, but I've already had up to 5 surgeries, and I've lived a life of on and off pain depending on the body part or a certain area of my internal anatomy. So I've been food poisoned. I've been fed medication incorrectly. That was not fun. So yeah, my constitution is really high because I've been able to continue to heal and bounce back. Eventually that'll probably catch up with me, but right now it's pretty good. So as for class, it's a tough one because I'm not really sure. I kind of want to lean into kind of maybe wizard bard area, and the only reason I say that is because I do customer service and I'm really good with like helping and interacting with customers. That's kind of why I say bard. But then I say wizard is because I have to learn a lot, and when I learn a lot from my job, I mean, a good example is my job 2 years ago was in medical sales, and I had to learn all this medical knowledge, and I had never even been to a hospital other than for myself, you know. And so I had to learn a lot. So that, you know, I know wizards, that's one of the things, you know, they strive to learn and grow. And I could see myself if say I was dropped in Faerun, you know, I could see myself being a wizard, you know, reading the books and learning. So then I just see myself as a bard, just being able to go around and charm people occasionally, because I have to do that in my current job. So that's what I think. Those are the kind of the two I lean to. I think wizard a bit more than bard, but you know, it's
pretty good.
Wait a second, is the wizard wisdom or is wizard intelligence?
Wizard's intelligence.
And is warlock?
Cleric is wisdom based.
Cleric's wisdom based. And
Pretty
warlock is charisma?
Charisma.
Yeah.
Maybe a sorcerer because you're inherently good at customer service.
I have a really good customer service voice for the phone. I'm not going to use it right now. It's kind of creepy.
Apparently my customer service voice scares my friends because it doesn't sound like me.
My
I
friends
love
freaked out.
busting it out.
My friends
Yeah,
freaked
it's
out
so
on the
much
phone
fun.
one time when they heard me because I did like a speakerphone call to talk to somebody, and my customer service voice came out just naturally, and they were like, "That's not you.
That's scary. You sound so nice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You sound way too
Yeah.
nice."
Someone at my bar job pointed out that it sounds so different to the point that to them it sounds like you have to try really hard to be nice to people, don't you? That's what they said the other day.
That's great. That's nice of them. All right, cool. So Matilda, roll us another one.
Mhm. All right. I think this was a Gobblefunk question.
Mm.
Which NPC did you want to punch in the face the most, and why? In our current campaign.
Current campaign. I'm gonna let Smash go first.
When I got to meet Affinity.
Not Enya when she killed Affinity.
Well,
I'm not an
Enya's not an
NPC.
NPC. I cut her rope though. Or I dropped it down. Did do that.
Bitch.
Sorry.
It's okay. I got out.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, damn, that's okay.
Another
That and
missed opportunity.
probably Erdan when we weren't there and found out that he snitched on us.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Oh gosh.
I already know yours.
Yeah. Who do you think I'm gonna say?
When we met the leader of was it this? No, it wasn't the Syndicate.
Oh,
It
the
was
Reapers leader?
the Reapers leader.
We had to physically stop her from trying to attack a gang leader in the
Ooh.
center of his hideout.
Ruby and Nick played that so good. He knew exactly what would get under Enya's skin.
Oh yeah. It was a no, okay. So that was just an instance of I want to attack somebody as Inyo. That's not who Inyo truly like loathes and would just want to. The person she wants to bitch slap the most is actually the Herald himself. Like,
Oh, we didn't see that at all.
you guys didn't see that at all, but Inyo and Ruby want to just be able to grab him and just like as much as
I
possible.
don't know, I'm kind of falling in love with him. I think he's great.
No, I especially the moment where I really wanted to slap him the most was when he was taunting me in the caverns below the city in the sewers.
Yeah.
I was like so close to about to like fucking leave Woe's ass and just like go back there where Gobblefunk
I was
died.
like, no, let's go. Let's go.
And Woe was like, no. And I'm like, I'm probably gonna die. I was like, literally, I was legitimately about to go and just confront this fucking thing at the time. I didn't know it was the Herald, obviously, but. And then, you know, when he appeared on top of a building, and obviously most recently, you know, Inyo's sole goal was to kill him.
Yep.
She's not powerful enough to do that, but her sole goal is to injure him and hurt
That's
him.
why we let you keep napping for a second.
I knew you guys would get it real quick. I wasn't worried.
Yeah.
I was like, if I go down, they're gonna revive me, but they're not probably gonna let me come up from here. So I was like, it's fine. I
Who
sat
does
there quietly.
Matilda hate the most?
Ooh. Oh. I think it's one of the Leisha Fiends. One of the
So
matriarchs.
One of the sisters.
Matilda / Sitsu wants to punch in the face the most is different than hates the most.
Okay. who
Wants
does
to
she
punch in the
want-
face the most would be her matriarch from Les Chauffines.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, punch in the face. But who does she hate then? Now I'm interested.
If you say yourself, I'm gonna say we need to go to therapy.
No. Not myself. No.
Good girl.
The Herald for corrupting her family would be the answer there.
See? Great minds think alike. The Herald is a pain in the ass.
But just out of frustration and I can't believe you fell for this would be her matriarch from Les Chauffines.
Yeah.
/ I can't believe you almost sold Alan to die.
Mm.
Yeah, that was pretty.
That was real shitty. I remember that. Okay. I'll be right back. But go ahead and roll.
Nash,
Okay.
your turn.
Oh, we don't have this one. What books, movies, games, or other media do you feel have been most influential in your experience as a fan of the fantasy genre? Ugh. What worlds do you think would lend themselves to a fun game? You kind of answered that a little bit.
Okay, which question
So-
is this?
How much
Number
time do we
6.
have to answer this one?
Okay,
All right, you're on the
well,
clock.
You've got 15 minutes. I'll give you 15 minutes. Go over
Okay.
if you want to go over.
Lending themselves to really fun games. The Melnibone world from Michael Moorcock would be really fun. Currently reading a series called The Chronicles of Amber by Roger Zelazny, and the Amber world is really interesting because the princes can sort of recreate reality to go in and out based on their own powers, and that could be really fun to play D&D style. And then there's one specific one I'm trying to remember the name of, but it's the Wayward Children series by Shannon Maguire, and there's one where it is the girl goes to the goblin markets basically, and it's very like Alex's version of the Feywild with like the accepted and like words have a lot of power and deals are really important.
Yeah.
And you have to be really careful of what you agree to and how you say things. And that that aspect of the Fae is something I've always found really fascinating, and I think it'd be a lot of fun to play a campaign like that.
See that? You're not gonna say Dune?
I just want to be a Bene Gesserit.
Just
The Dune universe as a whole, I don't think it would be any more or less interesting than the other large universes.
Yeah, kind of any space type universe it can, yeah.
Like, there's fun mythos around Arrakis and with the Fremen, but
yeah,
it gets a little weird later. And it's a lot of like political infighting between the major houses.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Ruby? Oh, you want me to go?
no,
I got an answer.
I mean, I have an answer too. I didn't know if you wanted me to go first.
You can go first.
There's a few. I think one of the ones that like immediately comes to mind is the Grisha trilogy, Shadow and Bone world, where there's the Grisha and then the normal people, which their name I'm not even gonna try and pronounce. I never pronounce it right in the first place. And it's a set defined area, and you can operate the group like in a one country instead of trying to, they can't go to the other countries, but you can really like keep them where you want them with a little different cities. But it's a war-torn world, and I like that idea of it and the different abilities because it offers a new, almost homebrew version of the characters, because if they want to be Grisha or not, if they're not Grisha, what do they want to be type situation. And there's another one. Go ahead, Snow. It's just gonna come to me and back to
All
me.
right, my answer is to both the question. I grew up such a fan of Lord of the Rings that, I mean, it was like my dress up game, it was my backyard game, it was my sticks and swords game, and I feel so much that like that is like the epitome of a D&D party, right? Like that is like everything.
That's what it was based off of.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to have a game in that world. Like that would just be wonderful
That would
to
be.
me. Maybe just a little more magic though. Just a little more.
So we'll keep the dragons and the goblins and the ogres. And
I just want more than
Dire
just
and the
wizards.
elves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give the Hardfoots magic. Looking at you, Rings of Power Season 2.
Mm-hmm. So, sorry, the other one I was thinking of was, it's kind of cliche, but Hogwarts. And when I really think about it, it's more of actually like the academy, or an academy or school environment. And being able to play like a character.
Dimension 20.
Yeah.
Their school campaign.
Yeah. Or even just like a college version, like a college campaign in a sense, but something that it kind of like how we currently play. We have just a city, so it's like you'll have the university and kind of a bit of a city on the outside,
like a campus.
Yeah, a campus. That's where most everything is going to happen. But yeah, like when I think about it, I was like Hogwarts.
The Winx
Hogwarts
campaign
Legacy.
has to happen now.
I mean,
yeah, I don't disagree.
Nick, I hope you're watching.
Nick, you better be listening. So, yeah, but like,
Nick, you gotta go watch a child show.
Yeah.
Please, hurry quick.
Hogwarts Legacy is the game I think of when I thought about it. So, like, the book and the TV show is like Shadow and Bone for me, and then Hogwarts Legacy. There's so many different movies that I could think of, but so many of them are based off of books, games, and stuff that I don't even want to. I'm not gonna go down the movie hole.
God, there's so many like one-off movies that I would love to have games built out of, and it's my favorite genre with that. A lot of it is older, like the B movies, the ones that the cult movies.
Yeah, cult classics.
Yeah, playing like a Willow or a Krull game would be so much fun. Like,
Okay, well then I take that back.
Like Dark Crystal type.
Dark
like,
Crystal.
Yeah.
Dark Crystal, and then the Labyrinth movie.
Yes,
Labyrinth
exactly.
would
The
Great.
Labyrinth would be like with a D&D party trying to get through the Labyrinth. That would be so great. Classics right there.
Oh, like Never Ending Story vibes. Yeah.
Never ending story. So good.
What is it? Lost Kingdom, that like sci-fi one.
Oh, you know the other one I think
Or
of?
Hallmark.
Arnold Schwarzenegger one. The they did a remake. Total Recall.
Total Recall
was just
would be a lot of fun. Starship Troopers would be fun.
Yeah. Oh, and then I thought about it. They didn't really do a good job of it, but John Carter. It's really complicated, but that premise that they did on the movie was pretty decent. It just didn't get a lot of traction when it came out. So we didn't go over 15 minutes. Good job, guys.
There's just too many to name.
I mean, we could
opinion,
name
but-
thousands, I feel like. Over and over again. Okay.
All right, Ruby,
My
your
turn.
roll.
I think we did that one. We did that one. We did that one. We did that one. Oh, 20. I get to pick.
You get to pick one.
Okay, let's see.
Pick or make up one.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to do one that's about the campaign. And this goes for all of us. We are going to have to answer. But describe a moment when you had to rely on another party member to succeed. How did that come about? And what was that experience like? What way did it affect your character and their development? That's this one down here, by the way, if you want to look at it.
The first thing that comes to mind of having to rely on another party member how integral Cyril was into being able to stop the Sisters of Dorelion and saving Alan. Like, Cynthia would not have been able to do that by herself.
And how did that affect, you and your gameplay, and then Setsu herself, realizing that she would not have been able to save Alan if she did not have the party rallying around her, especially Cyril.
I think it made her trust them a little more. I think it also made Setsu a good bit more cautious.
I could see that. Nash.
Bro, every time Woe got eaten by something.
Which
stream?
twice
Which
now?
is every
No,
fucking
it's not just twice.
combat.
Stream.
I think it's three
It's
times.
been at least 3 times that
Yeah.
our lovely Woe
Yeah.
has gotten eaten. Now, if we wanted to say how many times she's gotten knocked unconscious and snatched or
Which
eaten,
is a wonderful thing for the one that gets eaten the most to be the cannibal.
Yeah.
It's
I love
poetic.
that.
It's beautiful. No, yeah. Those are those instances where it's like, you're playing a glass cannon and you get stuck and that there is your freaking hit points are crap, and if someone doesn't save you, you're a goner. So it's just I don't think that I mean Bo definitely has like a lot of like I believe it was the first time, and I believe it was Sarah who actually saved me, but Enya was the one who brought me back with a potion or something. And I just remember how like happy Bo was. Like, it was just like very like, oh my god, you saved my life, you're the best person ever.
was that down
And it
in
was very
the
much-
tunnel when that happened?
In the sewers,
Yeah.
with the devourer.
The Devourer, yeah. I remember that. Enya was stressed to the max, wanting to make sure you fucking came back to life.
Yeah.
I remember that, yeah.
I think when you play a character that is a very low AC, low HP, you have to really quickly have that character depend on the rest of the party, you know, to kind of be like, all right, we got you. Now throw out some big hits. You know?
Hey, I'll wake you up, but you better be able to do some damage.
You better
to
start
us,
blasting.
because otherwise we're both going down.
We're both
Yeah.
going down hard. Yeah. So I think I don't have like a key moment. I'm trying to like remember where it started at. But what I can say, I think that most recently, a prime example is just an episode or two ago where Enya was full of hatred. She's full of rage. She's full of just pure frustration and sadness, and she starts attacking. And it doesn't even surprise Wo or Sitsu, but they're also like, wait, Enya, slow down, hold on, stop, please, you're gonna hurt yourself. And they're yelling at her, and she hears them but doesn't hear them, and she knows she's probably gonna fall. Like, she doesn't even care, she just wants to cause damage. And when she does, like, it's not even an issue when she comes back. She just is like, okay, well, that, yeah, I knew that was gonna happen, you know? Like, and the fact that, because you guys have saved her different times, different scenarios where she's come back and hit really hard throughout the campaign, I think it just shows how much she's developed enough to know that you guys will bring her back. Because you didn't stop her from choosing to defeat death to become what she was. You accepted that and said, well, we're not going to do that, but you can do it, whatever. And when she came back, you're like, how was it? She's like, it was great. But even then, she still falls, you know.
You know that if you get into a bar fight, that your girls will back you up, even if you're in the wrong.
Yeah. And so that's where it's come now, is like,
I can't back down now.
Yeah, Inyo has developed so much now that the most I can think of is when you guys do bring her back or save her, she just knows you're going to be able to do that. Even if it's not right away, even if it's not, like, even if she falls and she's trying to just stay conscious in some form, you know, she has developed so much that she truly has become to rely on Wo, Gobblefunk, Sitsu, Owlin even, and now Wraithen, to a point that it's, you know, for her as a character and her development, you guys are now her family, and there's nothing she probably wouldn't do to make sure that you guys live as long as you want to live, even if you end up leaving her. Because when Cyril left her, that was the hardest. And it was like emotional then.
Little piece of my brain that wishes you would not have said that, because it's gonna make it that much worse if there comes a time when we can't bring you back.
No, that and I think that's the other thing in her development, is she's accepted that. Because she's accepted, especially now, everybody's transforming into something. As a player perspective, everybody's transforming into something. And as she sees this newest one, she's just realizing that, you know, nothing's set in stone. Yes, she does have this opportunity of longevity, but she could die tomorrow, so she still just needs to continue living as if tomorrow is her last, you know? And I think for her, if she is able to truly continue to be that immortal that she wants, if she can keep that mentality, it's something that will serve her well. So I hope that her character holds on to that, and then, you know, she develops further into that and doesn't just isolate herself as she did in the past, you know? So positives, lots of positives. And yes, she's been down many times, and you've come over and saved her butt, so appreciative. More than you know of that.
I love that the rogue is the party healer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will forever love that.
I think it's great. The sneaky party healer coming in to shove a flask in people's face.
Yep.
Like, drink this! Get back up!
Pouring liquid into unconscious people's mouths.
Mm-hmm. Looks so weird if you were to see it in reality, but it works.
Yeah. Alright, we have 5 answerable questions left on our list. Do we want to just pick them?
Sure, we
Instead
can
of
go in
trying to
order
roll
or
those
pick 'em.
numbers?
Yeah, let's do that. So, Matilda, you pick which one you want to go first.
I have been wanting to answer this question since I saw it on the list, so I'm gonna, for you guys, number 11.
Okay.
If you're building all-star dream cast who to play D&D with. Who's on your list?
Anyone.
I'm gonna limit it to living people, I guess. But
So I'm not gonna go out.
Does it have to be people or could it be fictional people?
Oh, now you're just getting.
I'm also gonna say real life people.
No.
So I'm gonna be realistic about this. I'm gonna be realistic when I see this question because I could think of a lot of people like celebrities or stars, actors, musicians that I can play with. But realistically, my all-star cast is going to be Nick, Alex, Kyle, Matilda, Snash, Emily.
She's gonna name everyone but us.
Oh god,
And,
that would hurt.
and an egg. Like if I could.
Dude,
Oh,
I
and wait,
love
what's the
playing.
other one? What's the other girl's name?
Gat.
Gat and Gat.
Smashley.
Gat. So if I could have all of you guys, like drop you in a place and like we're playing D&D together, you fuckers would be on my team. And that'll be my dream team. Oh,
Okay.
and it would be a Nick Alex DM combo. Nick
That would be
Alex
fun.
DM combo because they would be if they had to
Except
like
they would have to DM on a timer
Mhm.
as they
Oh.
switch off.
they would have to switch off. And they would have a
And they'd have
character
to
in the wings.
Tag team.
Yeah.
They would have to do each other's voices.
Oh god, yes.
For NPCs.
That would be great.
Beautiful.
No, it's just Alex DMing and Nick's in the background reading the NPC script in the different voices.
Yeah,
That'd be
love
good
it.
too. So yeah, that's because I mean honestly, yeah, we could invite people. We could invite any celebrity or any really experienced person. But I have such connections with everybody that I've played with thus far, and those are the people I would want.
Well, now I'm gonna look shitty with a
Oh please, no, you won't.
different answer.
I'm just being emotional about it. Use your Star Dream cast. Pick anybody you want.
All right.
Don't pick me.
I also took this to mean as like not who we're currently playing with.
That's fair.
It's okay. You can just say we're not your favorite people.
We're not our favorite people, Snash. You know this.
I will drive to your fucking state
Ooh!
and throw something at you for that.
Wonderful.
All right, Don Marshall, Brennan Lee Mulligan, Diana of the Rose, Connie Chung, the DM from Spare the Crying, and Zach the Bold, and Laura Bailey. That was the other one. Yes.
That's an all-star cast.
I know that's a large party, but if I could pick anybody to put in a room and make them play D&D with me,
I love how you said
Yeah,
that. And make them
I can
play
agree
D&D
with a lot of
me.
those.
all of them.
Those are really good choices.
Please.
I do like
That was my original thought. Was like, yeah, all these. But actually, since you also said real life people and not fictional people,
Um,
the cast from Fellowship of the Ring.
oh my gosh.
Oh my god! If I
Yeah.
could, okay.
So you're talking
Yes.
about
that would be
Imagine
great.
everybody,
cast.
the whole cast.
Can you imagine playing D&D with fucking Dominic Monaghan and Billy Boyd?
That would be hilarious. Fucking hilarious.
right?
Oh man.
Nothing would get done, but it would be amazing.
Linda Bloom, Elijah
You can have a
Wood,
fish
Peter
fry.
Martinez. So okay, hold on. Let me get clarification though. Are you talking about just the Fellowship though?
Yeah.
Because like we wouldn't pull Elrond in, we wouldn't pull
No.
Theoden in. Okay. Okay. Cool. Because that. Whew,
That's too big of a party.
yeah. On that note, I would say the cast of The Hobbit.
Yes.
Oh, you want the 13?
I want the 13, including Gandalf to 14 technically. I want
Dude,
all of them.
Brian's right. Viggo Mortensen has to be in the party. Brian's right.
Sure. I want all of the dwarves and the Hobbit and I would love those actors because I think it would just be hilarious because they would just play off of each other because they do that very well as their characters and I think they could do it very well in a D&D campaign. Maybe a little too much testosterone in the room, but it would be really fun.
All right, Snash, your pick.
Oh yeah. you guys know my answer to this one. How would you approach building a character for a campaign versus a one-shot or other short-form game?
Okay, well, I want you to share your answer because I kind of have an idea of your answer, but I want you to definitely share.
Campaign-wise is something that I'm going to be easily comfortable playing, like, for a long period of time. But I like to have somewhat, complex backstory. I want to have a lot of substance to my character, like a lot of really good, like, stuff to build off of that can be emotional. And it's not like my campaign characters don't come into the campaign like, oh, I'm just like this total badass, like I've done all these amazing things, or I'm just some girl or some person. But one shots, all jokes every time. Jokes and fun OP builds or dumb builds. I really like dumb builds. Those are so good.
The ones that wouldn't survive for a whole campaign.
Like a rogue that won't sneak or a rogue that won't hide.
Yeah.
That's when you pull out like the barbarian that thinks that they're a caster because they just yell something really loud.
And all their spells fail.
They think it's a spell.
Or a wizard who doesn't know how to read. Or
like a wizard that's a sorcerer and says the most stupid things, and all of his spells actually work because he's a sorcerer. Yeah. Stupid shit. What about you, Miss Olda?
Definitely one shots. I like to sort of get out that like min-max idea or the like super joke characters that I think would be funny, but I wouldn't necessarily want to play for a long time. The Bonermans are a really good example of that. I'm so excited for Buck to finally be on screen soon.
A preview of Buck's voice.
No.
Why not? How many wolves are inside of you?
No. Oh, no. Not again, Lyra. No. Flashbacks.
Inside of me, there are 2 wolves. One of them is very mad, one of them is very angry, and one of them is furious.
I am so excited to play in this next one shot.
Could you imagine that voice for an entire campaign? Absolutely
no.
Yeah.
But once every couple of months, sure.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing between them two is when I would develop a character for a campaign, I develop a character that I know is going to need character development. Going into it, I know that there's going to be a story that I want to develop alongside the main storyline. It's not somebody that's, with the one shot, it's, my name is Lapis, and Lapis likes to do this. And, it's the fun, silly stuff with the one shots. It's the min-maxing. It's the, let me try out this stupid, annoying voice and see how pissed off or confused I can make my fellow, partners in the campaign or in the one shot. Because, campaigns, you're going to be more than one session. You know that you're going to have opportunities to grow. And I think that's the biggest thing that I always think about is how do I want them to grow? Because for me, it's like I'll build a character out and I'm like, okay, so what's their end goal? Like, here's a little bit of backstory. Okay, now that you've made that, what do you want them to be able to accomplish by the end of this campaign? Or like, what goal, or even if it's an unachievable type goal, what goal are they always striving towards, Whether it's being the best or the worst at something.
I think for campaign character building, I tend to approach it with, so Sitsu's entire backstory and character was based off of a painting that I had seen of death as an old woman in a white cloak gently tending to a body.
Inspiration.
And just that idea spiraled. Cortinia's was based off of St. Patrick's Day song against the British and being very pro, like, Cortinia's was basically built to be like an IRA fighter.
Nice.
I love that.
That didn't get to come out, but that was pretty much the backstory. Was the Druidic Grove was just like off on the edges, and they were really just trying to get rid of the Inquisitors. So like one, either like a historical thing or like a piece of art or like a snippet of a story, and just see where that goes. I like to have there be like a thematic center for a campaign character.
Agreed. One shots are where you can overly express yourself, or like
Get to
stone
be
in a
silly.
one. Yeah, you get to be silly. You get to be, you know, vibrant and just mess around. I mean, you're fucking around. You want to fuck around with everybody. I feel like that's the mentality I'll take. It's like, it's a one shot. What can I do that will annoy everybody else in the campaign the most, or make
I want to
them
break
laugh
the
the
DM.
most?
I
The
want to break
one-shot-
the
yeah.
I know
The
you
one
tried
shots
really, really
are-
fucking hard to break
The
the
one
DM.
Not-
shots are when you get
Not
to-
just my character, but also like I want my character to be stupid as all hell, but I want their build to be ridiculously OP.
Yeah, and that's why you can play it. And luckily, I think one shots offer that opportunity. Whereas a campaign, you want to be more strategic, and being strategic, I think, is what a campaign build is about. You know,
I want my DM to kill me in a one shot, please. Like
I was
that
really
one.
close. Don't worry, I'll take care of you next round.
So Brian has a good question in chat if we
Mhm.
want to throw this in.
Let's go.
What decision would the party have to make in order for your character to consider splitting off?
So when I see splitting off, I'm saying, do we want to split the party, or are we truly like saying we're splitting
Like,
off to go do
your
something
character
else?
would
Working
leave.
against. Either leaving or working against.
Okay. Oh. I think Woe would leave if Enyo killed Lyle like she killed Affinity. I think Woe would accept change and go off and just be fighting against us 100%.
You know it. You know it 100%.
So, which is funny because now I have to think about what would it be for Enyo, because I actually can't really think. I'm trying to think what would be the right thing to say for me. Sorry.
I feel it's hard. Enyo doesn't have anybody left.
I know. She really is about to be at the moment of just doesn't matter. Doesn't matter anymore. The connection she has with the party are all that holds. And even that's fragile hold, truthfully. Because that could snap, I feel like, at any time. I think for Enyo, if she were to make the decision to turn against the party and split, it would be because in the world we're currently in, that they fully like accepted change and that there was nothing else they could do to fix it, and we're just going to try and manage it in some way and just go back.
Oh, like
to
if
the
they
game.
just rolled over?
Yeah, just rolled over. Just rolled over. Because if they were to just give up, she would snarl and just fight them for it so hard. And if they truly stuck to their guns on the rollover, she would probably attack them. And then if she got damaged enough, she would run away. Like, nurse her wounds and come back again. I have one for Alan, but Sitsu, I don't know. What do you think?
No, what's your thought?
So, truthfully, it's if Alan dies, Sitsu will lose it, especially if it inadvertently is caused by the party. I could see her
If the
splitting
party has a hand in it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I could also see Alan, as much as she loves Sitsu, I could see she leaves if Sitsu were not to truly fight for her, or fight if you guys make a connection with the newest batch of Les Chauffines. If you just decide, you know what, fuck them. You know, I can see Alan I don't know if she'd really leave, but it would get close for her. As much as she loves Sitsu, I feel like because you guys have all been given a second chance, she would really expect Sitsu to do more to save as much as possible. You know?
I think that the most likely or plausible scenario for, well, obviously if Alan were killed at any even close to hand of the party, Sitsu's gone.
Yeah, Sitsu's out.
She's also ideally taking most of the party with her.
In an epic faction with a big S.
How would Sitsu feel if there was like an ultimatum of Alan or the rest of the party?
She would choose Alan. I already told Nick that.
Yeah, I knew that. That was true. She would choose Alan 100%.
She's already thinking about that choice.
All right, guys. See, I'm dead next game.
Fuck.
But I think the more plausible would be Sitsu and Alan choosing to leave the party to follow their own.
Yeah, if they didn't agree with where the party was headed, like the path just seemed to be not where they wanted, they would just leave.
Yeah. They would maybe peel off to sort of do their own thing if what the party was trying to do felt like too much.
Yeah. I could see that 100%. That's a good question. That's a good question. I think if we were to think about Raven in this situation as players, Raven,
we already know that he's been sent to
stop us by change. Or what we think is change, right? Isn't that what we kind of decided on?
No, that wasn't change voice. That was the opportunity voice.
Is that opportunity's voice?
I think so.
I get so mixed up with the voices.
I get confused because
I just need a token. I just need a token from Nick.
Too.
That was the really deep, kind of breathy voice. Change is like the higher pitch, mischievous trickster voice.
Yeah, if it was opportunity, I could see that. But again, you know. Yeah.
And I mean, that fits with Raven being a reclaimer. And
yeah, that does fit with that. That's true. Oh gosh. Okay. Let's get back
theorizing on stream here.
Yeah, it's theorizing live. Nick, don't listen to that part of the stream. Just, you need to have deleted the last 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, Nick, don't take any ideas here.
Please.
Take them so that we all cry.
I don't really want to cry again.
I don't want to have
I
to
love
kill
crying.
you.
Oh my god, it feels so
I
good.
don't have to kill you either.
I would rather cry about the made up people in my head that I play with my friends than other stuff, so
yeah. That's fair. Okay, whose turn is it? Snesh?
Oh,
it's Ruby's turn.
Oh, is it my
It's
turn?
Ruby's
I'm
turn.
sorry. Let's see. You know what? We're gonna keep on the same line we have then. What's the wildest theory you have about where the campaign is headed? I mean, we're already fucking around with the campaign thoughts as it is. Let's keep it going for a minute. Come on, note takers. My two best friends, note takers. Come on.
Okay, so there was a really big twist thrown into my theories in the last session.
Fair.
I did not expect the new reality Les Chauffines to be popular or have any level of power.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of questions about, I mean, that means there is public worship of an instigator? ? Or do Les Chauffines follow Durelian?
Did you like the fact that Les Chauffines is where the Raven has planted himself now?
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
I actually hate
Isn't that
but...
really frustrating for you? Because for Enyo, it's fucking bullshit that the people that she actually wants to talk to and be her mentors are fucking scattered to the goddamn wind.
Yeah, I actually kind of hate that
Mm-hmm.
the Raven has taken power of something he very firmly does not belong in.
Mm-hmm. So where do you think the campaign is headed towards, like, the end goal? The wildest theory we can think of.
That everything we're doing is worse off than if we did nothing at all.
It's all gonna...
That
It's not actually going to change anything.
That we're butterfly affecting ourselves.
Yeah.
Or, on the other hand, that in the reality of the entirety of the world, that this is the best thing that can happen. Because what do we know? We know about Martyria, and that's it. And what if, Martyria only exists because some people at some point did something so terrible to the rest of the world that that's all that they had left.
Yeah, we've already seen how the Reclaimers treated the Shimmer.
Or, the gods, the new gods, not the old gods, are the whole reason the world is fucked. And then they made their cute little city to keep their cute little people safe. And
we're actually the bad guys.
We're the babies of the bad guys.
The Accords breaking and Martyria being destroyed is the best thing that could happen to the world.
Mm-hmm.
So, I see it as we were near the end of one reality, and we've been taken to a different reality. And although it's almost identical, it is very different. But technically, it's still happening at the same time as the other one, and its end result is truly to end up as the other first world we were in, first reality.
Is it happening at the same time, though? We don't know that.
Right. Well, we don't know that, but again, this is my where the campaign has been headed theory, and that there are going to be key moments coming up that could make or break what's happening. And like you said, we truly, like, at the end of it, it's always the winners that write history to decide if it was good or bad. We don't yet know any consequences of our actions, and we also don't know if, as the Herald has said, as others have said, that everything we're doing is truly in vain, or if we can actually make an option that will change it for what it was. I think the campaign is headed to pivotal moments that, depending on the choices our characters can make, will either affect or not affect the end result. Does that make sense? So that we'll be offered opportunities to change it that we could end up missing if we're unaware. And that's the other thing I think is so frustrating, is our lack of information. There's a lot that we and our characters are missing because, prime example is she turned into a monster right in front of us. Like, how did she get infected in the first place? Or is she being infected because we are back here?
Oh yeah, we're not the source of it.
Yeah,
right?
Are we really the source of this? Like,
we have.
But is it a new infection, or is it like the other Martyria bleeding over?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is it the reality we came from, that because we've made a channel to come back,
there were all the zombies and aberrations that we were fighting in the old Martyria post-nuke?
Oh, but I was thinking that we were just carrying like a time-hopping virus.
That's the one way to look at it.
Infecting everyone around us.
I think the biggest question is going to be when we actually get in front of more than just one person, because if you notice, it's always one person. Like, there's the dead body of Orange. There was the dead.
But they're also important people.
Yeah, they're key people story-wise. True. That's where it's kind of, I don't know.
Is everybody infected, like, at large?
Yep. It's going to be interesting.
Also, just like C2 hyperfocus, why did he give Le Chauffin the name that he was using for Durelian's followers?
I think the campaign is headed down to where we're going to be given those choices, and either we're going to succeed or fail. And one way or another, Martyria is going to change. And it just depends on what we do to make it change. Whether it'll end up being a positive or more of a negative aspect, as it seemed to be in the first round, in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, next question.
No.
To me?
No, it's my
It's yours?
Mm-hmm.
I think we only have a couple left.
Yeah, we have this one
2.
and then this one. Yeah, there's 2 left.
Alright. We kind of talked, I mean, this is a good spin-off from the last question.
Mhm.
If you had known that traveling through time was a possibility from the beginning, are there any changes that you would have made? Anything that your characters would have done differently from the first go around?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's
I
a
would
few
have joined
things.
Enyo in the tomb.
Really?
100%.
You would have killed your shadow self?
Yeah.
Okay. That's different. I didn't expect you to say that.
I would love to be a vampire.
I don't know if it's so much as a choice, but there's like 3 things I think of. One is I probably should have just grabbed Affinity's hand and cut her hand and flung the blood on the wall instead of trying to cut her neck open. Yeah, you know. Hindsight's 2020.
And we wouldn't have the Lyle Woe arc that we did.
I know, and that would have been a different Lyle Woe arc. I would have still helped her get Lyle back if that's what she wanted. I mean, Infinity would have eventually gone. But I think the second one I think about is that opportunity to actually talk to the Herald, where it was asking me, do I remember? Because I still think there's something that Inyo's missing. And it's been said a couple of times that, do you know if the memories you presented were even the ones that are your true memories?
Do you want to know my theory on that?
Sure.
The little child that Enyo saw at the manor was the Herald when he was little, and that you guys knew each other.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that. That's a good one. I'm gonna have to think more about that one.
Because they were protecting the tomb.
And the relic
for
was still
vampires,
alive,
right?
Yeah.
What if they were fucking around with kids and created a monster?
And basically created the Avatar himself, the Avatar of the Herald.
Or they accidentally killed him and Change offered him a way out.
Yeah, so that's the big point for Enyo is, believe. Who does she really believe? Because I mean, she could have believed the Red Eye instead of following the mask, and trusted that no matter what would happen, that would be the better path, So that's where I think about if she could go back and change. Would she try and follow that path to see what it would lead? Because I think it could lead to a different opportunity, both positive and negative. But yeah, I mean, I think overall a lot of my decisions I would stay with. I wouldn't have not wanted Lemon to get sacrificed though. If I could have saved him and shoved another sister into the pier, I would have done so. That was one big thing that Enya will forever regret, though she doesn't truly remember. I as a player regret that. Because he shouldn't have died. We should have been able to stop them extracting him into an Arcanex.
I both love and hate that Nick rolled for that. Also, of between Lemon and Owlin, who he was going to target.
Yeah. I mean, in the end, I would have, and I know, like, for Inyo, Lemon and her would have both agreed, save Owlin, don't save me, because he's older, like, he's been around a while, so, yeah.
Yeah. The last question feels like a repeat of what we've just talked about.
I guess it's a good thing we're kind of sticking to the same theme.
Yeah. Do we want a rapid fire?
I mean, we're
Or are you guys
at
ready to
2:20. We could go for a little bit longer if you want.
Want to do a quick 15-minute speed round?
Do you want to focus on the 2 all ones?
Speed round, let's go.
All right. Speed round, go. Who's in charge? Go for it.
It's Woe's turn to ask first.
Okay.
Do we want to just like go down this list
That'd be good.
and then like answer it based on the character?
Go for it.
Or
Let's focus on the 2 all first. Pick one of the 2 alls, and
But-
then we'll focus back on the characters, maybe. Because I feel like if we do these 4 2 all questions, we might be good on time then. I think that would be good. Don't you?
are there 4 2 all questions?
Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, wow. I didn't see them mixed
Yeah.
in.
Let's focus on
Yeah,
those.
let's just do those.
Okay.
Okay. I'll go first. How has your character evolved from the beginning of the campaign to now? What experience have been the most transformative? I think Woe's way less ashamed of herself. She's definitely like just felt very much accepted by the group for her shortcomings or for like her abilities. And having a group of people who like will be like, hey, yeah, sure, I don't care, eat this. You know, rather than when she came into the group, that was like her biggest like issue with herself, you know. She was really struggling with her like the perception others had of her. What experience have been the most transformative? I think definitely there have been so many times that other members of the party have nearly died that it's really changed how she's viewed them. Like, she had issues with Enyo after the affinity thing, but like there were multiple times where, you know, Enyo might have been like right on the edge and Woe was just like chasing her down to make sure that she wasn't alone, you know, if she was really low on health or, you know, she was looking rough because she was so paranoid of losing someone, and that she felt so like connected to the group again. And definitely the death of Cyril was pretty like hardcore because she knew Cyril before the group. And I mean, that whole experience, you know, Enyo was very emotional during that situation. Sitsu was very, and Woe was just kind of like, I don't know, almost like disassociating through the whole thing because it was like, wait, what's happening?
Mm-hmm.
This is just like something he does, right? You know? And then like the realization that he's gone was like, we have to be careful. We chose the wrong thing. Something's wrong with us. Like, you know, and that pulled into a lot of like, why would I ever make a decision based on my needs before the needs of everybody else?
Ruby.
I would say my character has evolved a lot. Not just in her personal story, but overall throughout the whole campaign. She's evolved from someone who's really rough and abrasive and like, get the fuck out of my way, I don't want to deal with you, to being someone who's a bit more emotionally grounded. Though she's, you know, evolved and been able to accomplish one of her goals, you know, she's now losing more and more every day, and so she's becoming aware of those that are near her and how much she truly values them. I think with Cyril's death was super impactful from her. I think the reason it was even the most impactful is because not just when it happened, but shortly before it happened, she herself had transformed into, you know, killing her shadow self, accepting the Night Queen's gift, and then making a change that luckily kept her alive and didn't truly impact everyone until it did. And that's, you know, that's been something that she's dealing with, and then, you know, compounding that with the losses of everyone that could have been truly valuable to her, into finding that the people that she wants to be valuable to her are not only her party, but others that are not applicable anymore. Like, they're there, but they're not who they should be in the current reality. So the transformation and killing her shadow self and Cyril's death, I think, have been the two most impactful, allowing her to develop and open up to her emotions more and accept that, you know, she can't control everything and she needs to live day to day like she truly will die, even though she has such a great gift that's been granted to her by the Night Queen, you know? Matilda?
I would say that Sitsu has gotten more confident in deciding for herself. She has become, as weird as it sounds, less of a follower, because she is not just blindly following the matriarchs anymore. That having to make her own choices is a new thing in her life. And kind of to that, being betrayed by Le Chauffin was probably the most transformative experience for her, followed very closely by that clifftop fight where Cyril died, and seeing all of the rest of the party fighting with her, trying to accomplish the same goal. It was that realization that she did still have a family.
Aww.
Aw.
Okay. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Okay. So next one. Describe a time when the dice rolls led to an unexpected and memorable outcome. How did you adapt to it?
Well, I mean, Nick rolling to see who got sacrificed.
That was a big one, yeah. I think one key one is Inyo almost dying to her shadow self was pretty memorable, that she was able to accomplish that, because I almost was expecting her to die, truthfully. And also Sitsu's ferocity, just the energy that she exuded as she fought the matriarchs, trying to stop them from accomplishing their goal. The roles that you were able to accomplish successfully with not just your scythe, but with your healing light. Like, it was those roles themselves, as you use those abilities, were just super memorable and very impactful to the story. And at times I almost thought they were gonna be able to save us, but we had to adapt because it still wasn't enough, you know?
We were so close, man.
I mean, we were, I wish I wasn't as nervous about killing people as I was at the time. But then I was also super worried about Cyril, so it was a twofold divide for me. How do you guys feel like the dice has led to an unexpected memorable outcome?
The boat incident.
God, that was a hard one.
I feel like there were so many good rolls, but there were so many bad rolls, and there were so many rolls that as they were happening, we were all just like, because I mean, it got to the point that we were all under probably 10 HP, and we were getting round after round after round after round, just like clutching on. And it was hard. It was really hard.
There were a frustrating amount of like really bad rolls and like near misses on the boat fight that could have drastically changed the outcome.
Yeah, truly. That was honestly the option of not going and finding another way weighed heavily on my mind over the next couple of sessions following us getting out there. It truly did.
That was a time where I as a player genuinely felt like I had fucked up and missed something, because Nick did have in the Love Shack hotel when Sitsu and Alan were talking, he did have Alan hint that there was a faster way to the mountain.
Yeah.
And then the next session we were just very
boat.
Sarah was like, let's go boat.
Boat.
There wasn't really, I didn't think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely a high energy situation for us when it came to
we
the
all
boat
just
decision.
we were talking about titles ideas, and we settled on corkscrews or something like that. And so
Yeah,
we
we
really
mentioned
got
something about the boat, and Nick was like, well, I hope so, because that's what I have prepared.
yeah.
So there was the thought of okay, well, we have to do that.
Yeah. All right. Is it me?
Wait, hold on. I think it's Matilda.
Oh, sorry.
If we're keeping to go.
Okay.
The beat
How
Matilda
do
slash
you-
me.
How do you integrate your character's backstory into the main campaign narrative? Can you give an example? This would be much better as a Nick question, honestly.
Yeah.
Definitely a DM question, because I think we as players can talk about how we
How did you build your character? Yeah.
Yeah, but
For Martyria.
when it comes to truly incorporating the stories that we as players build.
Okay, so let's change it then. How did you, based on that packet, Welcome to Fyram, or Player's Guide to Fyram that Nick sent us, how did you go about building your character?
I definitely didn't talk to you two about it. Because we were all very similar by the time we got done.
I almost
Wait.
made a rogue. I almost made a rogue.
We almost had 3
So
rogues going.
close. Oops, all rogues.
Mm.
I didn't figure a way to fit it into the main campaign, right? It was more like fitting it into the city. So I really just wanted a normal person. I wanted just, well, I say normal person who eats people.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted, something that was simple enough so that Nick could mold whatever he wanted to mold. And I felt like leaving it being like, hey, she likes to eat people. She's in recovery. Sure, she has an ex-boyfriend that they didn't end on good terms. I guess her parents are beggars. Yeah, sure, that's cute. And Cyril's her friend, and they fucked up a job because they were trying to make it big, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really latched on to the pantheons that Nick had built. I also loved the idea of making Nick build out this city that sort of has a hatred for the instigators, making the main story include an instigator worshiper who wasn't supposed to exist. Ruby?
I mean, I read through and I tried to make sure that the idea I wanted for my character would be able to really link in well with the city. And, I kept myself within that framework he gave us, selected the gods that she would worship. But when I talked to Nick about it, I really gave him a bit more free reign than I have in my past characters with Alex. And I was kind of like, this is the end goal that she wants. I don't mind how we get there as long as we can get there. And then I can use that end goal to continue on towards, a new end goal. And so as we talked about it in this questioning, your character's not going to remember. what do you mean my character's not gonna remember? Your character doesn't remember things the way she thinks she does.
From
Okay.
building out your character, had you planned it that you wanted her to become a vampire?
Yes, that was one of the things I actually asked him. I was like, hey, I'm kind of wanting to play rogue, and I'd like her to be, you know, this mentality of wanting to be a vampire. Is that something you're willing to do? We had a discussion about it, actually. And he was thought about it, and he's like, you know, yeah, I can do that. We can make that happen. How do you kind of want to do it? And so I was like, well, I want her to be, you know, she's been on the streets. She's very street smart, street wise. She's a rogue. People kind of know her, but she's, you know, she was saved by a vampire. And like, that's the whole like stick, is she was saved by one. And like, ever since then, she's strove to achieve that precision, that, you know, cruelty, that control of her life. And that's why she focuses so hard on the vampires. She knows they're out there. She just doesn't know where to find it, truly. So we had that discussion, and the way Nick took it and really ran with it was really, really inspiring, and been really fun, because there's been hints of it since the beginning, since the first episode, you know? And I really appreciated those little hints coming and getting thrown into my story, as well as into the main campaign. So the sewer stuff and those memories, that's where it honestly, it's funny how Nick and I have played off each other with that, because sometimes I don't know where he's going to go with it, and then he'll surprise me, and I'll be like, okay, more information, more about my own character that I now remember, you know? So it's been interesting for sure.
All right, this is a really good one to end on.
Okay.
This last for all question.
Okay.
The final one,
Mm-hmm.
not the second to last one.
Yeah, we have this one, and then we have this one.
I meant the last one, but
Okay, I like the last one.
Can I answer the second to last one?
All right, if your character had a signature
Catchphrase?
catchphrase, what would it be? How often do they use it? Snash, go.
Fuck it, we ball.
All right.
that is your that
is so
is the
fucking your
catchphrase.
Good God, that's what his catchphrase. C2, do you
Now we
have a
can move on.
catchphrase?
Like a in battle phrase, or
Sure.
like a
Yeah, in battle or something she says regularly.
going for like the cool action movie in battle phrase. It would be something like "Death comes for everyone."
Ooh.
That's a good one. That's so C2 though, yeah. She says that. I don't have one, honestly.
I got a shiny dagger.
That's true. That's true.
1 little 2 little 3 little daggers.
I got a shiny dagger. It's gonna go in your neck. No, Inya really doesn't have a catchphrase. She just kind of does. She says shit afterwards and gives people shit afterwards. I think one of her catchphrases would have been, "Cyril, shut up." For a
Yeah,
while
that's
there.
probably
That
it.
was probably her catchphrase for a while there. Cyril, shut
Yeah.
the fuck up. Or like hitting Cyril over the head. So, but that's, you know, that's past now. So, all right, last one. What is one
What
piece
is-
of advice you would give a new D&D players just starting the first campaign? And we all said it at the same time. Sorry, guys.
No. 1, 2, 3, go.
Ah. Advice.
You're
I-
going. We're doing the thing. Okay.
We're doing this.
You're going to make mistakes. That's okay.
Yep.
Keep playing. Also, it's not embarrassing if everyone is doing it. Role playing can feel really embarrassing at first.
Mm-hmm.
It's not embarrassing, just commit.
Go Snash, go.
Okay. My biggest advice is honestly, as far as learning or research or whatever, listen to some podcasts, watch some actual plays, because you have that on in the background and you'll learn about different classes and you'll learn about different spells and you'll learn radiuses and effects just in passive in entertainment. And it's a really good way to learn in a way that doesn't feel like you're studying. And it's also a good way to observe roleplay and seeing how other people roleplay and help you feel comfortable in moving into that space.
I think you guys have both said it really well. You need to just take that leap. You know, connect with some people online and join a campaign. Go to your local RPG meetups that maybe happen once a month, every, you know, Thursday or something. Just take the opportunity to go out there. You don't have to have anything with you. I mean, people will share, they don't care. And people will always be ready to teach you. You know, sitting and listening to podcasts is super helpful. Honestly, that's one of the ways, you know, I started learning was watching people on YouTube before I jumped right in. But at the same time, you can just jump right in. That's what's so much fun about the game. You can know nothing and just come in and just be ready to play. As long as you have that positive attitude and that willingness to ask questions, to learn, to listen when necessary, and, you know, just be ready to have fun. And if you're not having fun, then you need to move to a different group, because as we said before, you know, if that table's not for you, then you'll find a table that is. I think that's super important.
That's something we kind of highlight in our own chat a decent amount, is that this is always at its core a game we play for fun with our friends. It can be much more than that, and I would argue that just in general D&D is, because a lot of my closest friends I have met and made through this game. But if you're not having fun, or it's being taken way too like aggressively, or you're feeling like you're doing something wrong every time you play because of who you're playing with, find a different group. It should be a game for fun.
That was frustrating. I did do that right at the end. I love when technical difficulties happen right at the end like that. Sorry.
That's okay.
It's okay.
It's because, you know, Discord is being painful as usual.
Oh.
Well, I think that was all the questions we had for today. Thank you guys for asking some questions in the chat with us. We super appreciate it. We appreciate you guys being here with us as we've been streaming on YouTube and on Twitch. We are going to go ahead and say good night and end our stream here, I think.
Good night, guys.
Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.
Thank you guys for watching, and catch us next Wednesday when we'll be back at, 8:30 Eastern over on YouTube and Twitch. Back at the campaign with Nick and Rafin.
Back at our full strength.
Back at full strength. And we will try and raid out here on Twitch in just a second.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we are leveling
Sneaky
up.
Spoiler.
Oh, yeah, that's a spoiler, but hope you enjoy it.
Level 10.
So much fun. Say bye, stream.
Good night, stream.
Bye.
Bye.